many generations since that time that has allowed them to see what is possible in this final frontier. So we are very proud of the opportunity to be here today to commemorate that legacy that was left by those who participated in Apollo 11. But since that historic achievement, we are now, as Bob said, very honored to be working with NASA on many critical missions, but most importantly, the next giant leap that we're going to face, and that is taking humans again to the moon. And we are very proud to participate in that with the Orion spacecraft that you can see over here with us today, one of those spacecraft that'll be in the next uncrewed mission going forward, and then we'll produce those that are moving forward. Today, I actually have the distinct privilege of introducing to you the individual who's going to be responsible for implementing the administration's vision for the future of America and our endeavors in space. He began his career in federal service with the U.S. Navy. He honorably served as a pilot on the USS Abraham Lincoln. And his experience in the military and in the civilian life as a leader have put him right up front and center to understand what we face in terms of the new space race, a race that is very important to our national security, a race that is very important to continued advanced scientific discovery. So with that, as I look at him and the leadership and the farsightedness that he has that are so critical to our American programs, I'm very pleased to welcome to the stage Jim Bridenstine, the Administrator for NASA.
Well, as you know, this is a wonderful day. It's a day of celebration not just for NASA and the United States of America, but in fact for all of the world. I want to thank Marilyn for that great introduction and for your leadership. I know this is as big a day for Lockheed Martin as it is for all of us. I also want to thank my good friend, Governor Ron DeSantis. We were freshmen together in the House of Representatives. Now you're leading this great state. And I will tell you, Ron DeSantis is a governor who cares deeply about the Kennedy Space Center. He calls me from time to time to make sure I know how deeply he cares about this Space Center. And just know that your governor is doing great work on behalf of the Kennedy Space Center. I also want to thank Representative Scalise, who is the minority whip, and Representative Adderholt. And I can see we have some NASA folks sitting over here by Representative Adderholt. Know this. This is the gentleman who is the ranking member on the committee that funds NASA. So make sure you're being really nice to that gentleman over there. I also want to thank Representative Posey, who has spent a great deal of time with me in the House, helping me understand the value of this center. And of course, he calls me from time to time to let me know what I should be doing down here. So it's great to have Representative Posey. Representative Babin is the ranking member on the the Space Subcommittee of the Science Committee. He's a Texan, and I will tell you, he looks at space from an all-of-America approach, and we're grateful for his service in that realm. And of course, Congressman Mast and Congressman Waltz. These are two individuals who are keen on the national security aspect of space and who have been very helpful to us as an agency as we think about the future and the strategic presence of the United States in space. And of course, the most important person in the room, Mrs. Karen Pence. Thank you for celebrating with us today. And of course, there's somebody else that I will be introducing later. I also want to thank Bob Cabana for helping transform this facility into a multi-user spaceport. There was a day in the United States of America when the space shuttles were retiring, the Constellation program was being canceled. Bob Cabana had a tough job to do here at the Kennedy Space Center, and he has transformed it in a way that has maintained the presence. And now we have great news that, in fact, the American space program is coming back. It's coming back with a vengeance, and I'll be talking about that more in a minute. But Bob Cabana, you've done a great job here, and we are so grateful for your service. Most importantly, it is an honor to have with us here one of the men who first walked on the moon a half-century ago, the legendary, the one and only Buzz Aldrin. It is also a pleasure to have Neil Armstrong's son, Rick, and grandson, Bryce, with us here today. Rick and Bryce, thank you for helping us share Neil's legacy with the next generation of moonwalkers. And most importantly, thank you so much for sharing your dad and your granddad, not just with the United States of America, but the entire world. We are grateful for your service as well. Landing men on the moon was by far the hardest thing ever accomplished in human history. It's been calculated that for every hour Apollo astronauts either flew through space or walked on the surface of the moon, approximately 1 million work hours on Earth were needed. No other collective project, not the pyramids, nor the Panama Canal, even came close. Although, when I first started reading this, I was wondering how they knew about the pyramids, because that was 10,000 years ago. But that's what people say. In all, over 400,000 NASA employees and contractors from over 20,000 businesses worked night and day to fulfill President John F. Kennedy's vision, not just once, but 6 times.